Hey guys, in this video we're going to be going back to the Knights of Grandshelt crown fight and hopefully doing it a little bit easier for those of you that basically don't have a Knights of Grandshelt of your own. If you do have Knights of Grandshelt, this fight's relatively simple and you can blow it up very quickly, but it's a little harder if you don't have Knights of Grandshelt. So we're going to be using this party. Now, even though most of my units are EX3, Ex1 is totally fine for the Fina we're using. Also, the Dark Rain should work completely fine at Ex2 as well. So let's get in here and do our clear. Now, because the boss gets more irritating below 80%, we're gonna basically just like sit here until turn 5 where we can set up, because the boss dispels our party on turn 1 and 3, which makes setting up for a burst really irritating. So we're gonna just hang out and wait for those dispels to finish. We're gonna set up on turn 4 and kill on turn 5 for an all mission clear. Now, the boss does single target physical that can be evaded and provoked, AoE fire with no imperil, and AoE dark with a 100 imperil. So in order to survive, we're going to just use Reagan to do Calamity Border. The rest of the party can just guard as we just wait for turn 1 to basically just, we're just going to hang out for the moment. So we're provoking with evasion on a unit, we're using Reagan, and then we're resisting. There's the first dispel. We love these dispels. And then the boss gets Mirage. We're going to deal with that during the fight as well. So Reagan can just go ahead and refresh that Calamity Border because we're not quite using enough resistance on the whole party. Fina can use the Behemoth Field. Dark Rain can guard. Reagan can just guard. Axstar can just go ahead and do his big break. It'll still be there on turn 5. Okay, so this turn we're going to get imperiled to darkness, so keep that in mind. A big dark imperil. So now we have a 100 dark imperils we have to deal with. And, alright, so let's see. Fina will go ahead and just do Brilliant Veil. That's going to be a 100 Dark Resist buff. On turn 3, Dark Rain will use One and Only Ruler to get ready for next turn. We get its Calamity Border again with you, and we can just guard with these guys. Just hang out. We're waiting. Because we're getting dispelled yet again at this turn. Very irritating. Okay, so here's the AoE Dispel. And then an AoE Dark Attack that we resist, no problem. Okay, now we're going to get setting up for bursting next turn. The boss also has 4 stacks of Mirage, so to deal with it, we'll use the SLB of Reagan for the big Light Imperil, the SLB of Axstar the Return for the big Dark Imperil. That gets rid of 2 stacks of Mirage. Reagan the Return will get rid of 2 more stacks of Mirage with Sonic Octastrike. And then we'll do his cooldown for the modifier buff for next turn. Dark Rain will quad cast. We'll use both the Magnuses and double focus for next turn. Fina the Return will go ahead and do the Light Imbue, which is also the Dark Resist buff. Delightful Glow, which is both of the killers. And then Shelga, which is going to help us resist the fire attack because we didn't use Calamity Border and our entire party is not fire immune. But it'll be fine. Okay, so dark damage, there's the fire damage. It's relatively minor damage. And then the big attack, we immune because it's darkness. There it is. And now it is time to kill the boss. But first of all, we're going to do our SLB of Fina. It is turn 5, so even if you're EX1, it will be ready by this point. Rain's going to SLB. Reagan's going to SLB. And then just to build the chain, we will triple Absolute Mirror of Equity with our support people. And now, if one of them was only EX1, by the way, you could use their SLB this turn before you attack, and because we only need one of them to chain Absolute Mirror of Equity. So if, for example, like Axstar is only EX1 or Reagan's only EX1, do their SLB this turn. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and support chain both of them, and we're going to send all our DPS, and that should OTK Rain. So Reagan doing a lot of damage, Dark Rain comes in there with an 8 billion hit, and Reagan does a big hit of his own. And there it is. We completely skipped the phase 2. I don't know the max HP of the boss, but we did 21 billion. These usually have about 15 billion, but I'm not sure. I think we overkill by 6 billion%. Or 6 billion, not percent. Yeah, so Reagan, after a bunch of setup on turn 5, did 12 billion. Dark Rain did 8 billion. Now keep in mind the boss is very heavily dark resistant, so Dark Rain isn't the best option here, but he is basically the second best option. Well, third best. The best would be Knights of Grandshelt, then Reagan Dark Lineage, then Dark Rain. Not counting the new units. If you have Deoxys, the new Lastwell, or the new Rain, those are obviously amazing here, and they're all anniversary units. They can all come in, so they'd be great. I don't have any of them, so I can't show them in a video. But there's our all mission clear. Let's go back real quick, and I will show you the gear. Yep, JP units only. So Fina is on Bahamut, and we're on Ashura and Diablos for killers for Reagan and Rain. The rest of the party, their killers obviously don't matter. So Fina is just using up to 60 or better fire resist and 100 or better dark resist. That's the whole party's gear. So 60 or better fire plus plus 40 from Calamity Border gives us immunity, and then 100 or better dark, and then a plus fiend is 100 resist buff, that gets us immunity. So this party was geared for other strategies. I was trying all kind of stuff. So all this LB fill and all, ignore all that foolishness. I didn't like strip all the gear that wasn't important. So there it is. All that really matters. Literally nothing matters except 60 fire and 100 dark. Reagan the Return is our passive provoker with evasion. Ignore the counter stuff, old strategy. I didn't strip the gear off. Calamity Border is important for the fire resist. Other than that, 60 fire, 100 or better dark, and there it is. Passive provoke and evasion as well for him. And you don't need guts with the strategy. We never go below 40. We never go below 80, so we don't trigger the big killer attack. Dark Rain is using a double hand spear build. 60 or better fire, 100 or better dark, LB damage versus demons and humans. There it is. And if you're not EX3, it should be fine. We overkilled by, I think, 6 billion. Reagan Dark Lineage is using a bow because we do need a weapon in peril, so bow because of Fina. You could also use something like the Leave It To Me card and a greatsword. You could also give him a spear and click Dark Rain first. A lot of options, but give him a weapon in peril some kind of way on this clear. Titus STMR, very, very helpful if you own it. Ignore the guts, we didn't do that strategy. 60 or better fire, 100 or better dark, and there it is. There's his setup, and I think he's maxed on everything. So maxed LB, maxed human, maxed demon, yes he is. And then Axstar the Return, just resist gear, 60 or better fire, 100 or better dark. Ignore the guts, didn't use that strategy. Some Esper fills so we can get the Bahamut field, and then just a resist card. And he's basically just here because of his SLB for Dark Rain. Because Dark Rain really wants a big dark in peril, so 145 dark is helpful. But he is also the least important here. So, hope that helps for the Knights of Grandshelt crown fight. And now I will be working on a alternate Grace of Flame fight for tomorrow. See you then.